Campi Flegrei, near Naples, Italy, experienced a seismic wave with 150 earthquakes in one day, causing significant concern among residents. The strongest earthquake with a magnitude of 4.4 occurred at 20.10, following an earlier earthquake of magnitude 3.5. This marks the strongest seismic activity in the region in the last 40 years. As a result, 39 families living in buildings between the towns of Pozzuoli and Piccoli were evacuated as a precaution due to the ongoing earthquake and the resulting damage. Many local residents, fearing buildings would collapse, spent the night outdoors but returned home as temperatures dropped at dawn. The Vesuvius Observatory identified the epicenter of the strongest earthquake near the Solfatara in Pozzuoli. The shaking was felt in Piccoli, Monte di Procida, and various neighborhoods in Naples, including Fiorigrota, Vignali, Sacavo, Pianura, and the city center, causing widespread concern. Since the return of Bradyseism, the phenomenon of the gradual rise and fall of land in the early 1980s, an earthquake measuring 4.4 on the Richter scale recently surpassed the previous highest earthquake of 4.2 on the Richter scale recorded on September 27, 2023. Both earthquakes have the characteristics of the same: a depth of 3 kilometers and an epicenter near the Solfatara volcanic area. Quite large earthquakes occurred, including an earthquake measuring 3.5 SR at 19.51 WIB and an earthquake measuring 4.4 SR at 20.10 WIB, followed by earthquakes with other smaller intensities. Therefore, I immediately established a city operations center to address any critical issues caused by the recent Bradyseism earthquake. I have decided to close all schools, public and private, in Piccoli as a precautionary measure to carry out the necessary inspections. Mayor of Piccoli, José Gerardo della Ragione. Bradyseism, described as like the open earth, is familiar to residents of Pozzuoli and the wider Campi Flegrei region, which stretches from the coast to the Pianura, Sacavo and Fiorigrota neighborhoods of Naples. The region sits atop a 12-kilometer-long caldera, with 6 kilometers extending beneath Pozzuoli Bay and another 6 kilometers underground. Unlike Vesuvius, which is cone-shaped, this ancient volcano was formed tens of thousands of years ago. The area has experienced periods of Bradyseism, especially between 1970 and 1972, and again from 1982 to 1984, which caused significant land uplift. In 1970, due to increasing instability, the Rione Terra area was evacuated. A few days earlier, emergency plans were put in place. Plan A included the evacuation of the lower part of Pozzuoli, while Plan B included the evacuation of the entire city. Bradyseisms are always accompanied by seismic swarms of varying intensity. Since 2005, the region has been in a new phase of Bradyseism, known as ascending Bradyseism. The Campi Flegrei caldera cluster is the largest volcanic feature along the Bay of Naples, which is also home to the more famous Vesuvius. Campi Flegrei, or fiery fields, is built from a series of overlapping volcanic features of historically active calderas, domes, and The Campi Flegrei caldera has produced two of the largest eruptions ever seen in Europe in the last 40,000 years. The Neapolitan yellow tuff erupted about 12,800 years ago, with a total volume of at least 40 cubic kilometers. The Campanian ignimbrite is about 32,800 years old and has a volume of at least 100 cubic kilometers. Cinder cones. Since the Neapolitan yellow tuff formed, many small eruptions have occurred in the caldera complex, most measuring less than half a cubic kilometer, 0.1 cubic mile. The most recent eruption occurred in 1538 at Monte Nuovo, a small cinder cone. Strombolian activity killed at least 32 people. The most obvious manifestation of Campi Flegrei's subsurface magma is La Solfatara, a region of intense hydrothermal activity. There are also repeated cycles of land uplift and subsidence near the town of Pozzuoli, sometimes on the order of meters per decade, coinciding with gas releases in Pozzuoli Bay.